Hey guys. Okay, so right out of the gate, the first thing to talk about is we see reinforcements arrive from the Interstellar Union Army, and the like joining Goodwin and Eraser in order to back them up against the forces of Nero 66, and those forces are led by Justice. Okay, okay. So here's the thing. On one hand, I don't want to jump to conclusions yet, but on the other hand, it's fucking Justice. Like Justice has given here's the reality. Justice has given me, and he should have given you guys as well, zero, and I mean zero fucking reason to trust him. I'm and that and what happened on Foresta is a perfect example of why I remain unconvinced that he can be trusted to not pull his usual bullshit. Like already, this whole setup of bringing an entire armada to Nero 66 while necessary, while necessary in order to fight back Shura's forces, it's one of those things where under Justice's command, there's this immediate sense of distrust in how he's going to abuse and how he's going to fucking he's going to make this thing personal and abuse that power. For example, even after they take out Shura's fleet, there's absolutely no assurance after that's done that Justice won't turn every single fucking one of the fleet's gun turrets on the planet itself, with our heroes still on the planet. And granted, while pretty much Eraser is just as capable of this as Justice himself, the thing about Justice is he's rigid enough in his beliefs to do it without hesitation. But regardless of any of this, like the big thing that truly makes me believe our heroes are on a time crunch with Justice here is what we learned a while back about how every member of the Irrational States Interstellar are allowed to act with complete autonomy. So the fact that Justice can pretty much make his own fucking decisions in this scenario, that already guarantees to me Justice is gonna do something shitty. Like, I'm sorry, I do not trust Justice to do the fucking right thing here. The guy is an absolute fucking moron. Is an absolute dipshit when it comes to, like, you give the guy, he's kind of an example of what you do when you give an absolute moron power, or at least a moron who's got like this weird like hang up about like complete absolute justice or some shit like that. Like in some ways he kind of reminds me of a Kainu, but honestly I think even a Kainu, for as bad as I think he is, has more sense than this guy. Frankly. But yeah, Justice, like, the moment Justice showed up, I was like, nope, don't trust him. I don't know why the fuck he's here, but I don't trust him. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. Now, moving on from that, obviously the other big thing to talk about is that both Pino and Happy, they not only got major spotlight in this chapter, but they ultimately ended up saving everyone from Nase, or at least for a brief time. And the thing is, this moment with Happy and Pino is absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to talk about Pino and Happy's big moment any further without addressing this sort of elephant in the room, which is that for all intents and purposes, Pino and Happy are the mascot characters of the series. Happy more so than Pino in a lot of ways. But because of that, it kind of creates there's always going to be this weird dynamic where it doesn't matter what powers they have or how they develop. That's essentially the role that they will always serve as the mascot characters. But the thing is, this is a chapter that shows Mashima has like, he kind of proved this already before, but Mashima kind of pushes the idea further even more, that he has learned the ultimate lesson of how to utilize these types of characters. Because one criticism I still do have of Fairy Tail to this, even though I like Fairy Tail more and more nowadays, the one criticism I still do have is that after Endless Arc, Happy didn't really develop all that much, and I guess that could be said for all the exits, frankly. But and they remained relatively stagnant for the rest of the series. But this chapter and Eden Zero as a whole keeps putting Happy and Pino into various situations where they can not only show what they're capable of, but also and developing those characters, but also doing it while still keeping in mind the fact that they are still like that they are still not necessarily as versatile in strength as the other members of the Eden Zero crew. So basically, in order to in some of the cases of this chapter, that they have to compensate with how they coordinate their attacks in order to do not say, even if for only a short time. It was what Pino and Happy did in this chapter was basically enough in order to break Weiss and Rebecca free from his control. Now, granted, obviously with how this chapter ends, it's still kind of up in the air as to how that's going to play out in the long run, because as we find out, like, Nase is about to unleash his final attack, his ultimate technique, the final hypnosis. And I can only assume next week is where this fight really starts to pick up a lot more steam, because, like, don't get me wrong. Well, this chapter and the past couple of chapters with just finishing like from Nase's powers has been intimidating in a certain degree, and this chapter in particular was great for Pino and Happy. My one criticism of this fight overall, honestly, is that it's really just been it's just been not say just kind of dicking around with his power, which is, I guess, threatening in its own way. I'm just not feeling like the tension of this fight, like because of what he's like, because of just like he's forcing everyone to just do random shit, which again is good to get. It's good, I guess, for the sake of lighthearted comedy, but I still need to see just what it is about this guy's powers that make him such a dangerous threat. And now that he's going to fully activate his ether gear. I imagine what this like final hypnosis thing is that it's like a full-on mind takeover that's going to take more than Pino's EMP to break. And on top of that, with this final hypnosis, I think we are going to see him like probably use it to do more than just make characters act like animals or make them cry or just kind of or just emotionally kind of just mess with them or something. Like, yeah, I think this is probably going to be the point where we're going to see like fully what Nase is capable of, but also we're going to see him do, I think, some pretty sadistic shit as well. And but honestly, the one thing that I'll definitely be keeping my eye on with this chapter or next week's chapter, honestly, is how Rebecca and Weiss like counter or avoid falling under the final hypnosis, because that's the big thing right now, is that the final hypnosis sounds like, because it is like Nase's most powerful technique, it probably sounds like it can do some like it'll be the hardest hypnosis technique to break free from. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what their strategy is, how they're going to counter this technique and all that. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Analyst, and you can also follow me on Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the notification bell for notifications, and just pass the video around, guys. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later.